Peace, family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I want to do is I want to talk to my chosen ones about how you are not a negative being for not believing in their delusions. I've been getting this one a lot recently and almost too frequently, and it baffles me. It makes me smile on the inside. I don't even get frustrated or upset or pissed at it, even when I hear it. I understand that it's a lot of beings who are operating on the wrong side of the scale. They're working with the wrong playbook. So I know that I cannot put too much personal intake on something when I'm engaging with them. See, if these beings was following source, then what they're calling negative and saying is negative, they wouldn't even have that viewpoint or that standpoint. And it's one way of shaming and guilting and blaming someone else for not wanting to hear, comprehend, or understand the words and the verbiage that they're using when they're communicating with them or communicating to them. I had two recent situations. One person I knew, one person I didn't know at all, from Adam and Eve. And I realized, like, it's almost like the first jab they go to when you're being honest with them. And I could see how they could feel jaded to a degree with someone's honesty, because honesty can hurt, you know? Everything doesn't always feel good. Everything doesn't always taste good. That's good for you, you know? I was never a fan of peppers, onions, and tomatoes growing up, but it's good for my body. So as I got older, I transitioned and I figured out different ways to add a little bit of peppers or onions or tomatoes, or be more okay with putting that, you know, that food, that veggie into my body. Understanding these things, you'll have beings out here that you engage with and deal with, and they'll understand that their reality, their perspective that they're trying to push onto you is not working out the way that they would like for it to work out. A lot of these beings with no real comprehension will use words and feel like because they're saying it, it's giving it more power, more reality, and it's putting like real strength and belief behind the words that they're using. You can always tell by a person's walk of life if it's real power behind the words that they are choosing to use. We all choose the words we choose. You know, there's no, oh, I accidentally said that. If you're processing too fast, occasionally that can happen. But what happens is, even when you process too fast, you'll catch it and you'll correct it before the other beings get a chance to correct it or to say something about it. But I had a male and a female counterpart recently who tried this little tactic on me. And when I heard it twice, I didn't take it to heart. You know, it just made me go back into another reflective state for like 2 minutes. Wasn't even a long time. And the only reason why I didn't have to dive into it long is because I'm a grown-ass man and I know the life I walked. I know the vibrations that I put out. I'm the one that's living in this vessel, you know. I would much rather be solid in my being and my way of life than be concerned with all my peers liking me or loving me for, you know, being superficial or, you know, being a yes man. And that's never been me. And I know for a lot of us out here, that's never been us. And we kind of have to take the brute of a lot of their unaccountability and a lot of their witchcraft just off the strength of us being us and being those honest beings who do walk with source. Before I got to this place, it wasn't a whole lot of beings that was trying to use the footwork that I put in to do this against me. Now there's a lot more beings that's trying to use this space that I've now expanded out due to Source and the Creator to use against me. You know, I spoke with the same knowledge and power before I started doing this, you know, and it wasn't the same emphasis put on, oh, well, you just, you know, it's because you got people who listen to you and blah, blah, blah. Before people was listening to me, I believed in me. And the Source did too as well, which is why I always spoke with so much emphasis and genuine love and belief in the process and the things that I communicated and I engaged about. But one of them, my male counterpart, tried to say I was negative on the strength that we be running our numbers sometimes together, and I understand that the system is rigged. He doesn't want to believe the system is rigged, so he's big on following the stats and what players can actually do. Like if you actually playing a real sport, you know what I mean? We're gonna let this pass. So we had a process of kind of doing our numbers and working together to a certain degree. And he had a time where I think he did really good on some numbers and had came up. But at that time, I wasn't in the best space. I was still like moving locations, transitioning. You know, I had other beings that I was removing out of my life. This all was just transpiring within like the last 30 days, you know. I've been at my new space now for about a week and some change and slowly getting things more organized. But I guess I wasn't too excited for him when he did good. Running his numbers, you know, he came up, made some money, whatever. And we didn't talk for a couple of days. We ended up communicating, engaging again. And he was explaining or saying that, you know, why wasn't I excited for him? Why wasn't I happy for him? And at that time in my life, when I have a lot of stuff going on, I'm more selfish with my energy. I'm focused on me and my inner space and trying to get all the life-changing things figured out. I'm not really concerned with celebrating others. I didn't say anything to put them down. I was just, you know, unresponsive because I was in here trying to figure some things out. So we finally had a communication engagement about that, but I also had to mention to him about how he has a tendency of calling someone, starting a communication, a conversation, and then being unresponsive to what the fuck I'm saying. And this been his thing that he does. He's been doing it for a long time, but I have got to a point to where it was like, all right, I'm about to cut the legs off of this one too, you know. And I addressed the situation. It was minor, so that's why I never really gave a fuck about putting too much emphasis on it, but it was almost like something the motherfucker kept doing intentionally. And with me addressing that situation, see, most people don't bring their problems or their issues to the table until one of the other partners or people bring it to the table. See, I'm a man. I got balls. I got testosterone, so I'm always going to address my situations up front. One thing I won't do is wait for somebody else to bring something up and then me start adding things to the table, because now it makes me seem extremely weak, and I couldn't do it and build it off my own momentum without needing someone else's energy and emotions to mix this thing up over here. So after we had went through that process and talked about it, he wanted to start adding some other things in there and was saying something about me being like negative in some certain spaces and shit like that. And I just kept thinking to myself, like, bro, like, I motivated you and pushed you in a space to do so much, and because I don't want to believe in all of your weird delusions and weird shit that you got going on, you know what I mean? You want to try to put me in a negative light. And I'm like, it didn't really bother me, because I know that when me and him started engaging, I got this space. I told him he can come up on the Godcast, we can chop it up and build, put him out there in front of the people. You know, he do music. I be sending him free beats. I told him we can collaborate on some social medias to kind of helped get him going in a certain space. You know, I pushed him to start making like little TikTok reels, gave him a bunch of ideas to kind of do certain things. At first I started laying grounds for us to collab, for us to work together, because I'm always with building with people. But since I was still communicating and engaging with him, I realized he didn't want to take no initiative in building or creating anything, that I just kind of pinpointed him to certain things that he can do in his own space. But when you are in a delusional state, it's kind of hard to get out of there. You know what I mean? Like, when you're not working no job, you know what I mean? You not providing and taking care of your family. Y'all living in your girlfriend's or your baby mom's parents' house. That's a lot that throws you out of sync and out of balance, you know? Like, it's already putting you in your feminine energy. It's putting you in your feminine energy. I am literally right here filming. Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm filming right here with a camera and you yelling all the way down there. Yes, this is a camera. I'm right here. I'm not trying to be rude, but you literally... Yes, I am. Thank you. Thank you. Like I was saying before, like, you have to address things for what they are. That's like, they just got here. He could have walked down there and talked to the little people. Instead, he came to the fence right beside me to start yelling down there to them. I'm telling you, if this wasn't no spiritual war going on right now and it wasn't as bad as it was, I probably would have walked over there, slapped his ass, and then went right back to filming. But I didn't have to do it that way. I just had to. I understand how to use my energy and vibration and the words that I'm explaining to you guys that we have to use. You know what I mean? But long story short, with my peoples, you know, he wanted to add his 2 cents and say that I be in a negative space sometimes, or having, like, I don't know, when he be wanting things to go this way, he be wanting me to believe that the cup is half full. You know, I am a half full kind of cup kind of being, but you're not going to put me in a delusional state to where I'm believing things that I know aren't actually happening or actually going on. You know, and you're not going to tell me where to put my hope and faith at when I've been riding way longer and harder and fighting this battle way more than you have. You know what I mean? You got to stand solid on your toes every day. And you cannot let these word spells throw you off or put you in some kind of weird bind or put you into the sunken space. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna dive into the other being, but the other being just didn't even like the words that I used to communicate with them. You know, they was trying to do this weird feminine women delusional thing to me, and I was just giving it right back in a masculine form. Oh, you're negative. Ain't nothing about me negative. I'm just very direct and forward. Very direct and forward. I don't know why people feel as though because you don't believe in their delusions or you're not falling for the word spells that you got to be some kind of negative being. You walk in my shoes. You walk this light. Show me what you doing to change your life and the people around you. You know what I mean? But I ain't want to run it up too long. Do not believe in their delusions. And just because you're not falling into their delusions and their false reality doesn't mean that you're a negative being, you know. Just because I have to give that guy that energy doesn't mean that I'm in a negative state. No, I just had to address something directly, and then I can keep it moving with my life. It's not that serious, you know what I mean? I know when somebody really wants smoke and if they don't want to smoke. But I ain't want to run it up too long. Tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.